So now we're going to be looking at more trick questions that can be found in the road sign section of your learner's license test. Now it's very important that you learn how to answer these questions, as if they do appear in your test, you're not going to know how to answer them. So let's get started with that. What should you do if a traffic officer signals you to stop, but the traffic light is green? Is it option A, you should obey the traffic officer? Is it option B, continue driving? Or is it option C, honk to alert the officer? Now, I have spoken about this quite a few times in the past. Now, the general rule in South Africa is that you will always obey the traffic officer. So obviously in this situation, if you see a traffic light and it's green, however, the traffic officer tells you to stop, you're going to have to obey the traffic officer and stop your vehicle. Now, let me give you another example, right? Let's say you're driving on the road and you see a road sign that tells you to stop. However, the traffic officer indicates to you that you should carry on driving and not stop. You have to listen to what he says and you have to ignore the road sign. The traffic officer's instruction will always be more important than any road sign. Now, who has the right of way at a four-way stop if two vehicles arrive at the same time? Is it option A, the vehicle on the left? Is it option B, the vehicle on the right? Or is it option C, the larger vehicle? Now in this case, if two vehicles arrive at the same time at a four-way stop, the vehicle to the right will always have the right of way and they will have to move off first. Therefore, the answer will be option B. What should you do if your brakes fail while driving downhill? Now let's say you're driving downhill and somehow your brakes just stop working. What should you do? How do you slow down the car? How do you protect yourself and other road users? Is it option A, turn off the engine? Is it option B, use the handbrake and shift to a lower gear? Or is it option C, accelerate to maintain control? Now option C makes no sense whatsoever, right? So obviously that cannot be your answer. And with option A, it says turn off the engine. Obviously you can't do that as well. Or should I say you shouldn't do that. The only correct answer here would be option B. You're going to have to use your handbrake and shift to a lower gear. What is the purpose of a chevron road marking? Is it option A, to separate traffic lanes? Is it option B, to indicate areas where parking is allowed? Or is it option C, to warn of sharp bends or hazards ahead? Now the purpose of a chevron road marking is to warn you of a sharp bend or any hazards ahead. What does a blue rectangular sign with a white P indicate? Is it option A, pedestrian crossing? Is it option B, a parking area? Or is it option C, a petrol station? So you're going to have to know that the white P will actually stand for parking, right? It doesn't stand for petrol station, nor does it stand for a pedestrian crossing. So the correct answer here would be option B, parking area. What should you do if you encounter a stop and go system at roadworks? Now let's say there's repairs happening to a road or there's construction taking place and that's going to affect the flow of traffic. There's going to be a system that's known as a stop and go. And that's sort of a contraption in which a person will stand next to that and they're going to flip a road sign, and on one side of the road sign it will say go and on the other side it will say stop. Now generally if you're going to drive up to this stop and go system, the person standing by the system is going to show you a specific side of the road sign. So let's say he's showing you the side that says stop. You're going to have to stop your vehicle and let the vehicle that's coming from the other direction proceed before you. If he then turns it around and it says go, you may then take off and continue on your way. So let's look at the possible options, right? Option A would say ignore the stop sign and proceed carefully. Is it option B, stop and wait for the signal to proceed? Or is it option C, honk to alert the workers? Now the correct answer here would be option B. You're going to have to stop and wait for the signal to proceed. What does a flashing yellow arrow at a traffic light mean? Now in the previous video, we spoke about a flashing green arrow. So let's look at our options, right? Is it option A, you're going to have to stop and wait? Is it option B, proceed with caution in the direction of the arrow? Or is it option C, ignore the arrow and follow the main light? Now the correct answer here would be proceed with caution in the direction of the arrow. So what is the purpose of a rumble strip on the road? Is it option A, to reduce vehicle speed and alert drivers? Is it option B, to mark parking spaces? Or is it option C, to separate lanes of traffic? So rumble strips are basically things that are put on the ground in order to make you slow down. So if you are in an area where there's roadworks taking place, or even if you are in an area that has a lot of foot traffic, you are going to have rumble strips, right? And the purpose of this is to reduce vehicle speed and alert drivers. So option A would be your correct answer. What should you do if a vehicle in front of you suddenly stops? Is it option A, swerve into the next lane? Is it option B, maintain a safe following distance and stop if necessary? Or is it option C, honk to alert the driver? So option A says swerve into the next lane. Obviously you cannot do that because if there's a car that's in that lane, then you are going to cause an accident. Option B says maintain a safe following distance and stop if necessary, and that is correct, right? You're going to have to maintain a safe following distance, and because of this, you're going to have enough time to slow down if the vehicle in front of you suddenly stops. What does a triangular sign with a picture of falling rocks mean? Is it option A, area prone to landslides? Is it option B, construction zone ahead? Or is it option C, rocks blocking the road? Now, if you see a triangular sign with a picture of falling rocks, it means that this area is prone to landslides. So it's option A. So what should you do when entering a freeway? Is it option A, speed up to match the flow of traffic? Is it option B, stop and wait for a gap? Is it option C, enter without checking for other vehicles? The correct answer here would be option A. You're going to have to speed up to match the flow of traffic. Remember, they're not telling you to speed up and break the speed limit. They're telling you to speed up to match the flow of traffic. What does a circular sign with a red border and a white background indicate? Now, that's why I say it's very important for you to first look at the shape of the sign, then look at the colors, right? So what does this type of sign indicate? Is it option A, there's a warning of danger ahead? Is it option B, a prohibition or a restriction? Or is it option C, just general information? Correct answer here would be prohibition or restriction. Remember, if they are warning you of something, it will be a triangular shaped sign with a red border and a white background. What does a triangular sign with a red border and a picture of children walking mean? Is it option A, there is a school zone ahead? Is it option B, there is a pedestrian crossing? Or is it option C, there is a play area nearby? Now, if you do see the sign, it is actually indicating to you that there is a school zone ahead. And you're going to have to reduce your speed as there's a chance that there could be children that are running across the road. What does a triangular sign with a picture of a car and squiggly lines mean? So when talking about squiggly lines, they're actually referring to basically tire tracks, right? So you know what tire tracks looks like. It's not always in a straight line. It's kind of squiggly. That's what they are referring to. So is it option A, there's a slippery road surface ahead? Is it option B, there are speed bumps ahead? Or is it option C, there's a car wash nearby? Now the correct answer here would be there's a slippery road surface ahead. What does a triangular sign with a train on it mean? Is it option A, there is a railway crossing ahead? Is it option B, there is a train station nearby? Or is it option C, there is a truck stop ahead? The correct answer here would be option A, there is a railway crossing ahead. We have now come to the end of the video. I want to thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far to the end of the video. If you found that this video was useful for you, if you've learned new things, then please give the video a like. And if you want more videos like this, then please subscribe. I want to wish you all the best on your learner's license test, especially if you're writing soon. Remember, I always say that if you put in enough effort, you will definitely pass. So I want to thank you again. May God bless you. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy.